needing help with rolling over with my daughter. Now, first of all, I can't thank you enough because this is what I want the group used for. It's great that I do these live reviews and tell you, but I'm here to help you through the whole process. Yeah, there's programs or errands there and doing the live Zooms, but you know, like I get it that this is new stuff and you're trying to help your daughter or your child and you want to fix them. Now, that being said, this is not a criticism. I'm helping you. You ask a question, it's a quickie review. Just, first of all, just slow it down. Remember, when you're doing work and you're trying to get a child, let's say, to roll over, right? And you're doing that. When you're going faster like this is equating to like running. She's not running, she's just a baby. Whenever I'm touching a child or working with a child, I always have that functional movement in mind, right? What's the function I'm working on? Now, rolling over isn't, and again, through here. So another thing that I teach is no clam hands, right? You really, it's sort of like having tea with the queen, although rest her soul. The king, you don't grab at the body. When you do hand over hand, and I really need to do a live on this, is because you really need to see hand over hand, you get motion. You get Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. When you're doing underneath with that rotation, now you're getting functional movement. Violet, this will be live, but it'll rewatch it so you can catch the beginning. So when the rolling over is happening, and also another thing, when you are grabbing, and again, I'm not saying it in a bad way, it will limit you eventually. There's only so far I can go. You really want to just facilitate. So your handwork is just going to be like this with her with the pelvis versus this. This, when I grab, like I said, it limits me. When I'm doing this, I can do, like if I'm just playing with Mr. Skull here, right? If I'm doing these kind of movements, I can go wherever I want with that. And that's why it's always a functional movement. But if I'm grabbing, then I have an access point or something like this. So that's where it's a different type of movement. It's not a functional movement. So when you're working like that with her, just like I said, watch where your thumb work is in the hands. When you're full on, right, it's going to limit the movement. You want that here. Like I said, a little bit too fast through the pelvis, just slow it down. She's not running, she's going to rolling over. That being said, now the chest work. It's not a range of motion thing, it's a weight transfer. So when she's here, again, she's a baby. Just let her be here. You're working on rolling over. You're working on the vision. When she's trying to do this up with her hand, that really happens a lot later in crawling when I'm going to reach up like into the couch, right? With rolling over, it's going to facilitate more going into that airplane. You've got a solid pubic bone strike, right? And then the hands are going to start to go out to play. Right? A baby should be here playing, something like this, and that you can facilitate vision on. Excuse me, I got my rubber doll here. And you're just going that route kind of movement. Obviously, you don't have to hold the head like I'm doing, versus all the way up here. When the baby is coming away from their system, right, at some point, she's going to go like, oops, don't fall down. So we don't want to facilitate a prevention of fall. We want to facilitate a rolling over. And so with rolling over, then the spine would take into place, right? And again, see how my hands aren't grabbing, so I can just do that just like I just did with the skull. And I'm here to facilitate the rolling over. When I'm up here like this, or especially if I've committed and I don't have my own range. If I don't have a range of motion, then your child's not going to have it. And that's what you're looking for. So just again, it's new. Just slow it down. Just think of when you're working with the pelvis, hi, sweetheart, get that eye contact, or let them have a ball or something that they can play on, something they can fix their visualization on. When you're here with the pelvis, just nice and easy, gentle, as if they're doing the function. So remember, if you're going too fast, it just, again, your child's not running, they're not galloping, you know, that's what that movement is. So the system's not going to take over and make a change in the brain for cognitive function, because now it's just palpitation, right? And that's where I didn't like a lot of trainings I was always in. I'm not going to name by names, but you know, you sat there and did this and like, do this for 60 seconds. I remember one time, and I was in training, and I said, so how does this help with autism? And she's like, that's a good question. She goes, I would give it a good 6 months and see if it makes a difference. And I'm like, 6 months? And then back then, you know, I wasn't per se Michelle Turner back then, but I'm like, 6 months? I'm like, my clients don't even give me 6 minutes to prove that I can do something for their child. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But again, you're going into this weight transfer eventually, which will be a crawl, right? That's what you're here for. If you're taking them away from the floor, they're not going to work on the next level, which is going into the crawling, because again, babies can't fly. So if the arm is going off the floor, then we're going right into a rolling over to keep that rolling over. You're doing great. Try it out. Same thing. Post another video and so forth. Say, hey, Michelle, how's this looking? That's what I'm here for. Thanks. Bye.